Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we are going to discuss BitTensor and token TAO. None of the content is financial advice. Let's get started. The reason we are covering TAO today is over the last 24 hours, it has rallied by about 16%. Over the last 30 days, about 20% rallied a lot to about $430. You can see from the peak from the lows to the peak. This is the early May drop. If you look at the April drop, the price were at one point less than $200, so like more than 2.5x rally from the lows. If we look at the price action and the tokenomics right now, although there are 21 million max supply for this token, out of which only 9 million are in circulation. That means there is much to be desired in terms of tokenomics. 41% released. Let's see when the tokens would get unlocked and if they have caused us inflation in price versus market cap growth. This is the price growth over the last 1 year. Market cap growth essentially one and the same. So even though there will be unlocks, I think the impact of those unlocks, at least right now, is at least over the last year or so, has been minimal. Essentially the curve kind of flattens in 2033. Before that, there is one flattening going to happen sometime in July 2029, so about 4 years from now. We'll closely monitor. Again, if you want to monitor it yourself, what you could do is compare the price versus market cap analysis. Again, none of the content is financial advice. This market cap growth and the price growth history tells us a picture that if there is something off in the chart, that is if there is growth in market cap, again over here, again let's take 1 year as an example. This is if there is a growth in market cap not getting reflected well in price, that means price is underperforming the market cap. That is could be due to newer tokens getting unlocked. In terms of the price forecast, using the DCA model or the time or the regression based model, what this model essentially does is identify the prices where they are from this regression, the gray line, the regression line. If they have too far gone to the upside, that means the token is in a mania phase, and the top is closed. So for example, in November 2024, December 2024, as well as March 2024, this particular token was overheated. Right now, the fair value per this analysis is coming in at around $436, slightly higher than the current price. Again, we made a lot of videos when the price was back in April 2025, when the price was much lower. Again, you can check over here. This is the home page of the channel. You can see BitTensor was covered 1 month ago, again when the price was much lower, 3 months ago when essentially it was hugging the bottom. So if you are interested in this price analysis during several phases of the market cycle, you can either give us a like and or subscribe, or check out the content on cryptoweeklies.com. All of this content is available for free. If you want to look at what is a theoretical target for Tensor right now, coming in at around $780. That's the dotted line, which is the 2 standard deviation residual applied to the ceiling. If on the other hand, if the risks right now at around 45%, if they were to go to that 60 to 70% target, the price could be between $660 and about $730. That is kind of a intermediate target for with Tensor and its token TAO. If you were to even analyze it using the simple moving average based 20-week simple moving average based risk, this model did a great job at identifying the bottom whenever the risks per this model were lower than 20 or 10% over here. That is essentially using the 20-week simple moving average, essentially identifying where the risk reward is favorable. Again, there are always risks. If we check an intermediate range, which is a kickstart of a euphoria phase between 50% and 70% risk, per this model, that price for BitTensor is at around $560 to about $650, so slightly more conservative per this 20-week forward looking outlook. The time weighted average price model says this was a great accumulation zone per the model when the price was lower than the blue line, which is the time weighted average price. Whenever this asset is lower than the time weighted average price, at least historically speaking, that has provided a asymmetric entry point. Right now the time weighted average price is slightly lower than $300. Back in March, so late February, early March, till about late April of 2025, the token was in that accumulation phase. That's when we created a lot of videos related to time, the BitTensor and its token TAO. So with that, I would like to conclude the video. All in all, right now the recent rally is coming close to some of the fair value and related resistances. If you were to extrapolate what could be a theoretical peak as a culmination of the three risk-based model, weighted risk at around 38%, if it were to go to that peak risk channel, the price of BitTensor and its token TAO could be slightly above $1,000, closer to that $1,100 target, and that represents about 2.5x from the current price of about $430. And with that, I would like to conclude the video. Hope you enjoyed the content, and if you did, please give us a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.